So now, how can bullion banks drive Indonesia's economic growth? To break it all down, we have economist Joshua Pardede with us today. So welcome, Mas Joshua, to the studio. First things first, to get everyone knows what exactly is a bullion bank and what are its key functions.
Okay. Actually, we have to know the fact that Indonesia is one of the top 10 gold producers globally. And then a significant portion of its gold is exported and domestically stored without any economic utilization. So that's why by establishing the bullion banks, it aims to monetize the gold reserves in Indonesia, which is approximately the amount is about more than 1,800 tons of gold domestic, yeah, and then which is equivalent with the more than 206 trillion rupiah. So that's why this is big amount. And then second one, I think the initiative why the government issue or launch the bullion banks, because I think the government also wants to reduce the importance of golds. Yeah, the imports of golds, I think currently Indonesia relies heavily on imports of gold, yeah, particularly from Singapore, our neighbors. And then the third one, this is the most important thing, I think the bullion banks are expected to contribute to the economic growth. Yeah, similar with the Danantara, I think bullion banks aims to support the economic growth, yeah, financial deepening, financial inclusion, by introducing gold as a financial instrument. Yeah, financial instrument and promoting, for example, like gold-backed financing, for example. Yeah, I think looking at the current data, that gold price has been increasing in the last 3 years, particularly after the Russia-Ukraine war. So I think gold is considered as one of the investment instrument going for the retail investors.
All right. So, but tell me the reason why Indonesia's bullion bank established today. We know that this was planned, I guess, from late last year, and now today it's going to be launched. So, you think the main reason is, what is it?
I think because from the government wants to monetize the gold reserves, as I mentioned earlier, and because currently the gold store in the Hasana maybe or the our banks maybe cannot fully utilize and cannot fully monetize. But if the trading and then, for example, like for the store and then the system, yeah, in the bullion banks can support those kind of things in investment of golds, because currently maybe we can see gold is considered as a safe haven asset, for example. Yeah, so that's why I think it's very important to have bullion banks, because our neighbors already have done with the bullion banks, and I think they have benefits on the bullion banks. So I think this is the right momentum for us for the next 5 years. Hopefully, from the government aspiration can achieve 8% growth.
All right. So who are going to be benefiting from this? You're saying government definitely, but what other sectors? Is it the mining sectors, let's say, or jewelry makers, or who else are going to be benefiting from this bullion bank?
I think from the macroeconomic perspective, the bullion banks can also manage the liquidity, yeah, the liquidity of gold, and then also to develop the market in the domestics. And then, of course, bullion bank has objective also to stabilize for example, like domestic gold prices, yeah, because currently gold prices are affected dominantly by global sentiments. So that's why the bullion banks can provide the stabilization on the gold prices. And then I think that's from the macroeconomic perspective. From the microeconomic perspective, I think first one is from the people itself, yeah, because currently if you have a business but you have only gold bars, you cannot use the gold bars as a collateral, for example. Later on, or in the future, hopefully with the bullion banks, you can store your gold bars as a collateral, and then you can get financing from the banks.
Right.
That is as simple as to to support the financial inclusion and financial deepening. And then from the banking perspective as well, I think this would be also could be for the future. I think for the liquidity for the banks itself also will continue to increase. And then for the industry, the producers, and then for the downstreaming and in gold, for example, bullion bank works as a to meet the supplier and then the demand, and then as a price stabilization, as I mentioned, and then also to support the downstreaming in gold commodities going forward.
Okay. Well, if you see Antam's gold prices decline today, so how will bullion banks impact gold prices and trading activity in Indonesia?
Yeah, I think even though I think Antam, I don't want to talk about the shares because currently shares in the JCI have been also affected by some sentiments, particularly from the externals or maybe some, I don't know yet about the causes, but hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, that bullion banks' role to stabilize the gold prices, and then to support the downstreaming in gold, in the gold commodity, because currently we export maybe cannot we export from the gold maybe in the medium process, but in the middle of process, but we cannot get to the more downstream products. So that's why I think this is also one of the reasons why bullion banks is introduced today.
All right, okay. You mentioned about our neighboring countries that have actually applied this. We're talking about Singapore and maybe other countries like Malaysia or Turkey, but which ideal example that we are actually looking at in terms of bullion banks, building in Indonesia?
So
we have those, examples.
So for the best practice, I think globally, global investors will benchmark the gold market mechanism and then market regulation to the London Bullion Market Association, or LBMA in Singapore. And in London. And then other than that, the reference is also Singapore, Turkey, India, and China. And then even though I think the best practice we can learn from those countries, I think the bullion banks in Indonesia should implement a variety of gold products, such as I mentioned, gold saving gold accounts, ETF, gold ETFs, and also gold derivatives. In order to attract more investment to the gold, and then to improve the quality, the liquidity in the gold, in the bullion banks. Secondly, I think the government should also, or the OJK should establish the gold trading exchange, the gold exchange, trading exchange, clearing house, and also hallmarking standards to support the transparent and efficient gold trading markets. So that's why I think we have to learn from those countries as well.
Okay, if we talk about Indonesia, you mentioned that we are one of the biggest producers of gold, and we have also big market of Sharia, economy. So will bullion banks offer Sharia compliant products and services, and how is it going to be structured, if so?
Yes, I think so, because one of the financial institutions that has been elected by the government, or OJK, is the Sharia-based banks. So that's why I think the bullion banks will offer Sharia compliance products. Secondly, I think the products like gold savings, gold lendings, and also gold-backed financing, are being structured to align with the Sharia principles, to ensure that they are compliant with the Islamic finance law. And lastly, I think bullion banks also should partnership to develop partnership with the Islamic financial institution, because they have to collaborate with the Islamic financial institution to facilitate Sharia-based trading, hedging, investment using gold as an underlying asset. So that's why I think going forward, bullion banks also should be over the Sharia-compliant products and services.
All right. I just want to go back a little bit about your mentioning the Bullion Market Association, or LBMA, that is based in London.
Yeah.
So, and it's overseeing the gold or bullion market. So how would Bank Indonesia involve in this bullion bank?
I think in terms of of course, Bank Indonesia has gold on their reserves. Yeah. So that's why I think the role of Bank Indonesia, I think, in order to support the liquidity, yeah, because as I mentioned, whenever there is whenever the gold to be stored as collateralized, yeah, the bullion banks has to provide the liquidity of money, yeah, to be financed to the real sectors. So that's why, and then other than that, I think Bank Indonesia also could oversee the liquidity conditions, yeah, in the bullion banks, yeah, elected by the government or OJK. So that's why I think going forward, the commercial banks, even SOE or private banks, should consider, yeah, to have a bullion bank businesses, because as I mentioned earlier, that the demand on the gold continue to increase, and then the potential of the gold prices tended to be more stable. So that's why I think gold is one of the instrument or investment that could be to leverage our economy going forward.
All right, Joshua Pardede, thank you so much for
Thank you,
speaking on See Today Business Talk. And hopefully the future of Bullion Bank in Indonesia will be as bright as the gold itself.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so that was our conversation on Bullion Bank for today's Business Talk. In the meantime, don't forget to follow our socials. We're on Instagram, X, and YouTube at See Today News. We are also available online at seetodaynews.com, so stay with us.